Hey guys, welcome back to another ranking video. Now already you might be thinking, oh Lil Man, you were going absolutely insane. Out of everything that you could rank, why would you ever rank the following animations? Well, you may be surprised, but a lot of people in the comments actually wanted this video. This was one of my most highly requested for a very long time actually. Also, I just think that it could actually be pretty fun, because a lot of these killers have some animations to them that you may not have even known existed. So that's why I'm here today to rank all of them. I won't be doing them from worst to best this time, but I will be doing what I did in the Survivor Lobby animation video, which if you haven't seen, you guys should totally check that out. It was pretty fun. And as you can see from the title, I will have a tier list up on screen when I need to, and I will rank each killer relatively quickly and give them a ranking, of course, from S to C tier on how good their falling animation is. Of course, C being the worst and S being the best. I get rid of D tier because I don't think any of these are actually that bad. I will also be ranking the wolf and bat form as Dracula, as well as Victor and Charlotte from the twins separately. If you like this wacky idea, I hope you guys subscribe and leave any more suggestion ideas down below. Thank you all in advance. And also, if you haven't yet noticed, I have a new profile picture that will stay with me and this channel for quite a while. I now also have an official Twitch and X account. I will link them in the description, and they will always be on the homepage of my channel as well. A lot of you have wanted me to make more social accounts, so here we go. The next thing I have to make is a Discord, which at some point I will make, don't worry, I just haven't gotten around to it yet. I'm not really sure when I'll start streaming, but I'll get to it eventually. Since I don't know that much about streaming, it'll be an experience for us all. Also, getting back into the tier list, we tried to get a good angle of each killer, and because of the randomness of these maps, it may be a little harder to see things, so I apologize if that's the case. But without any further ado, let's get right into this ranking, everybody. Of course, if we set it up like this, we are going to have to go in order when the killers are shown to us in the menu. So of course, let's start off with our boy Trapper, whose arms go way out to the side of him as he falls. He bends his knees a bit, but not too much. I think it's a pretty solid animation here, and because it's the first of its kind, I'm going to go with the middle of B tier here. Wraith also does the same thing with his arms swinging way out, but he doesn't brace himself like at all and just lands directly on his feet. I'm not really sure what it is about the goofiness of it, but I think it's gonna go B above Trapper for me. It's just pretty funny. Hillbilly, I swear, has the exact same thing as Trapper and even bends his knees the exact same too, and because of that, I'm gonna give him a C tier. Nurse has a little more going on with her floaty dress and the fact she's already floating herself. Her dress goes way up in the air and it looks like she lands really hard for some reason, even though she's literally levitating. I really like the fact that they made her dress have its own thing going on, since they could have just made it static, but they added some physics to it. A tier for Nurse for being this much more unique. Myers has the same falling animation as Trapper, so he'll be going C tier. C tier will be the characters who basically have like nothing special to them or literally have like the same animation. Hag puts her legs more together, which I actually really like, and then she also lands really hard like Nurse does a little bit. I like the extra animation of her bracing herself, since if she fell like the rest of the cast, I'm sure she would have literally crumbled like a lawn chair or Lego piece. This goes A tier for me. Doctor also has the exact same animation as the others, but it's so goofy with his arms basically swinging out to a T-pose, top of C tier. Huntress also does the T-pose stance, but her thing connected to her mask also has some physics to it, which I do really like, and for that, it'll go near the top of C tier. Bubba has a really funny animation where the apron does have physics to it, but if you can see, he lands really hard, so hard that his chainsaw ends up clipping inside of him, and honestly, because of this being so funny, I'm gonna give it bottom of B tier. Freddy accidentally slipped on the stairs, but this animation is really funny, because I'm pretty sure they literally just copied and pasted this animation from Trapper or Doctor. His arms and legs extend a little more than I think they should, making this look really funny. Because of this fact, I'm gonna give it B tier. Pig has a lot more to her landing, where she probably lands the hardest out of them all so far, where it looks like she's going into her crouch ability, and it actually looks pretty cool to me. Bottom of B tier. Clown has the same animation as Trapper, but because you can see his belly have jiggle physics, I'm gonna give this top a C, just to pay respects for those physics. Spirit, I was actually pretty shocked to find out that she basically does nothing when she falls. Like there's almost no animation that even plays here. It almost like nothing changed. She does move her arm a bit and her hair has a lot more going on, so I'll give her near the top of C tier. Legion is kind of like Pig, where he lands kind of the same as her and really bends at the knees to land, which is actually pretty cool. I'll give this B tier just behind Pig. Plague looks really heavily down while dropping, and her incest has a lot of physics applied to it here. I think all this combined is actually a really nice touch, so I'll give it B tier. Ghostface is just like Pig in Legion where he bends really heavily at the knees, but I think I really like this on Ghostface more, since his outfit really emphasizes this animation here for some reason. B tier above Pig. Demo has probably the silliest falling animation in the game. It almost looks like a pounce, but the way all of his limbs get sprawled out like this is incredibly funny, and probably one of the best falling animations in the game. It's really funny to watch, and because of this, I'm actually gonna give it S tier. Oni also slid in the stairs by accident, which is not part of the animation, but Oni bends at the knees a little more than all the other characters, probably because of how much he has on him that needs the extra support while landing. I really like this animation, and I'm going to give it a B tier. Definitely you can see that the leg with the brace on doesn't bend almost like at all, and the other leg bends way more. This added touch is very cool, and I love how far down he looks while falling. C tier, I think. From now on, another spoiler warning here, is that there will be no other killer that will be going into the C tier from now on. Every killer now has a more unique animation to them. Maybe some of these will be copied and pasted, but they are unique enough to not be in the C tier. Now we will get into Pyramid Head, who falls way too elegantly for what he looks like, and his apron having a bit of physics to it is really funny to me. I think bottom of B tier fits here well. Blight's looks really weird. It's like his falling animation didn't register until way later for some reason, but from what you can see he has the same animation as Pyramid Head while falling, so he's going B behind him. Victor falls probably the fastest out of all characters in this game, and it looks so goofy, but I do like that they actually gave him a landing animation where he lands incredibly hard on the ground. I think because of how silly this is, I'm gonna give this bottom a A tier. Charlotte bends her knees way earlier in the air than the other characters, probably to protect Victor in her chest, and then lands like normal, but I really like how she's kind of protecting Victor here, and she kind of swings her arm around that's holding the weapon. Honestly, I'm going to give this an A tier too. Trickster falls a little differently, with his legs being a lot more of an angle than the rest of the cast, and he falls really hard. Harder than Pig for sure. They actually gave Trickster way more of an animation than I originally thought, and because of this, I'm actually going to give him top of A. Nemesis I've never seen fall before, and I'm not even sure if something messed up here, or if this is just actually the official falling animation here, but it is so hilarious the way he runs in place while falling. For a little bit, I think you can see him fall kinda like Trickster, with his legs a little bit, but the uniqueness in adjusting himself is very funny to me, so I'm also gonna give this an A tier. Pinhead actually has the same animation as Pig, it looks like, which kind of surprised me. I think it's not like he can really do much with his outfit being so limiting to him, but B tier he goes. Artist falls really fast to me for some reason, and she lands really hard. And she lands almost like she's flapping like a bird, which is a really cool animation. Another thing is that when she falls, she makes a screeching noise like a crow, which is a really nice touch. And because of all that, I'm gonna give her A tier as well. Onryo's is kind of like Pinhead's, but just a smaller version. I wasn't expecting anything crazy for her anyways, but it's just a fun and simple animation that will go on a solid B tier. Dredge is next, and the reason everyone who asked for this video wanted me to do a tier list on it. The fact that he actually disappears and the way he falls reminds me of that Kratos falling meme. And then when he lands, it's a little pile of darkness that then emerges back into whatever skin you chose for him. This is probably one of the most random and unique animations in Dead by Daylight probably ever, and because of how unique it is, do I even need to say where this is gonna go? S tier 100%, and there will be nothing that will top this. Wesker falls exactly like Trickster, and kinda lands like Pig as well. I like how this mixes a bunch of stuff into one, but we have seen both these animations, so I'm just gonna give this bottom of A tier. Knight is very unique where he falls like Trapper, but his landing is what gives him so many points here. He lands so hard, and then slowly gets back up to his tall posture. I really do like this detail, and when he falls you can hear all the metal clanking around when he slowly gets up. I'm actually gonna give this a solid S tier. I really like what they did here. Skull Merchant falls a little differently, where she really lets her arms go way wide before landing, kind of like Artist. I'm gonna give this a B tier, I think just because it's a little different than what we've seen before. Singularity, you can see at the very end that he falls kind of like Trickster, but his landing is different where he puts both of his long arms in the ground to catch himself while really bending his knees. I think that's what's going on here. I honestly can't really tell because Singularity already has bad gamer posture in the first place, but it is a little more unique than what we've seen before, so I'll give him the bottom A tier. Alien, I'm mixing the normal and crawler mode together since they both have the exact same falling animation, where it looks to me to be almost the exact same as Hag's, which is pretty funny with the legs being more together and the way the arms are, but I do like this one better than Hag's, so I'm gonna give this A tier. Chucky puts his arms up in the air while falling like he's on a roller coaster ride, but I think this was definitely a missed opportunity to have like him fall on his face or back or something. I think that would have been really funny to see. It's kind of like Victor's, but a better version to me. So he's gonna go A tier. Unknown's falling animation is actually really scary to me. I'm sorry there's a huge hay bale in the way, but the way he falls, he puts his arm up in the air while having a dead straight face at you is incredibly creepy to me. He lands very softly, but the way he falls and holds the axe more firmly while doing it is unbelievably scary to me. And because of all this, I'm gonna give it an S tier. Vecna is like an Unknown's fall, but the arm holding the knife up goes probably higher because of the gravity, and he lands very elegantly, which makes sense for his character. I'm gonna give this one an A tier, I think. Dracula, in my opinion, is a better version of Trickster's, where he's got the same falling with his legs, but the way the cape falls and the way he slowly rises back up afterwards is very menacing to me, and I actually really like this one. I'm gonna give this one A tier. The wolf form falls really sprawled out and then lands with his two front paws, but the extra animation of moving the top paw more forward and to the sides, like how a dog would land too, is a very nice touch, and I actually really like that they did this with him too. Top of A tier for me. The bat form does a nosedive, and because it's literally flying, doesn't have much of a landing, a funny and short animation, and I'll give this a top of B tier. Houndmaster puts her legs together while dropping and has her arms way out in the air while dropping, and the fact that Snug went with her, I have to comment on the fact that he also has the same animation as Dracula's wolf form, and I really like that both animations here. And the way she holds her weapon while going down is really cool to me. Honestly, S tier, just because of basically two animations in one. Ghouls I really like because you can see the way he falls is super unique, and the landing is even cooler. In the falling, he puts his arms way back behind him, and you can see how he braces for the fall just before landing on all four, before quickly getting up. How quick he gets up is really funny to me, but because both these animations are things we haven't seen before, I'm gonna give this S tier. Springtrap also has a unique falling and landing, but it's very subtle with everything. The way he falls is like Trickster, but the way his legs are is different, with his left one hitting the ground first, and the way his arms swing from out to in is really cool. And you can even see his bunny ear has physics on it as well, which I actually really like. Top of A tier for sure for me. So after recording everything, I moved some stuff around, so here is the final tier list for what I think is the best falling animations in Dead by Daylight. I moved a lot around in A tier, just because there was a lot of stuff that definitely deserved this tier, but still I liked how this all turned out. This was a very unique idea, but honestly a fun one to do. Remember to go follow my other social media pages if you'd like, and I'm not sure when I'll go stream, but it'll probably be here soon. Thank you everyone for watching, and I hope this wacky video idea made you consider subscribing. As always, comment any other idea you'd like me to do, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day or night, and take care everybody.